Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim. Today's practice will be a short, slow flow practice, little post-holiday practice to move our bodies, let go of any stress, and possibly bring some joy into our hearts and minds and bodies today. So I invite you to come to your mat, and you can sit like I am in Vajrasana, sitting on the heels with your knees bent, or if you prefer another seated position, please feel free to take that. If this doesn't feel good for your knees, take what feels comfortable for you. And then allow yourself to pause here for a moment. You can bring your hands to rest on your lap. Turn the palms up or down, and if it feels okay for you, close your eyes for a moment and do a little check-in here. Just notice how you're feeling mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically. Taking a baseline, but letting go of any judgment and honoring whatever it is that you bring to the mat with you today. As always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as you move through this practice. And you can blink your eyes open, bring your palms together at your heart, and then open the fingers. So keep the pinky finger and the thumb together and spread the other fingers open. Bring it into a lotus mudra with hands at the heart. And then you can release your arms down, and then we'll inhale, take the arms out to the sides and up. And then as you exhale, turn the palms to face down, and as if you're pressing the air down, release the hands all the way back down to your lap. And then with your next inhale, again, sweep the arms out to the sides and up. And then turn the palms to face down and slowly press the palms down as you exhale. And then again, inhaling, arms out and up. Turning palms to face down. And then slowly releasing the hands down and bringing hands back to rest in your lap. And now just turning your head to look over to the right. Nice and easy. And then bring your head back to center and turn your head to look over towards the left. And then bring your head back to center. Turn your head to the right again. Back to center. Turn your head to the left again. And then back to center. And then over to the right one more time. And bring head back to center, and then over to the left one more time, and then bring your head back to center. And now imagine that you're using your nose to roll around the face of a clock, and you're going clockwise. So bring your nose up to what would be 12 o'clock, and then slowly roll your head over, bringing your nose down to 3 o'clock, and then down to 6 o'clock, and then over to 9 o'clock, and then back up to 12 o'clock. So again, just imagining that your nose is pointing at this clock face, and you're slowly rolling your nose around, rolling the head around. And then next time you bring your nose up to 12 o'clock, let's switch directions. We'll take it counterclockwise. So rolling your nose around, your head around in the other direction. And then bring your head back to center. And then we'll inhale, open up the arms, cactus your arms, lift up through your heart. And then as you exhale, we'll bring the hands together, palms together, forearms together. Draw your chin towards your chest, round through your back. Inhale lifts you up again. Arms lift, heart lifts. Exhale, hands together, arms together, curl in. One more time. Lift up the arms, lift up the heart. And you are always welcome to smile at any time throughout this practice. Bring yourself back up to your starting point. We'll take hands to heart, and then turn yourself to face the top of the mat, the short end of the mat, and bring yourself into child's pose at the end of the mat. You can have the knees wide, or you could have the knees together, and then release your forehead down to the mat, your chest, your arms down to the mat. You could rock your hips a little bit from side to side while you're here. And then if you're rocking hips, bring everything to center. And then we'll slowly begin to slither ourselves all the way down onto our belly. And bring your forearms down to the mat, shoulders above the elbows, spread the fingers wide, root into your finger pads, magnetize the hands back towards your body as you pull your heart forward through the arms, coming into a Sphinx pose, activating through the back of the body. And then relaxing that, take your hands under your shoulders, press yourself up into a table. And then we'll roll the hips around in some circles. Bring your hips over to the left side, and then pull your bum back towards your heels, and then bring yourself up and hips to the right, and then over to the left. And then hips roll back to heels, and then over to the right side again as you come back up through table. Hips roll over to the left, and you pull your bum back to your heels, and then bring yourself back up into your table, and then we'll switch the direction of our hip circles, bringing the hips over to the right, pulling your bum back to your heels, and then hips roll to the left, and then back through your table, and then a few more times. Roll yourself around here. And then bring yourself back into your table. We'll extend the right leg back, bring it about hip level-ish. And then bend the right knee, draw it underneath your body, round up through your back, and step or carry right foot up towards the top of your mat. Press down into that right foot, lift yourself up, reach the arms up. We'll take it into a low lunge. Fingers reach up, feet press down, nice long spine. And then hands come down to the mat. Step yourself back into a table, and then extend the left leg back hip level-ish. And then bend that left knee, draw it underneath your body, round up through the back, step or carry that left foot up to the top of your mat, press into that foot, lift yourself up, reach the arms up, find that low lunge, pressing down through the feet, reaching up through the fingers. And then we'll take hands down to the mat, step yourself back into a table. Spread the fingers wide, tuck your toes under, press into your hands, lift up your hips, lift up your knees, glide yourself up and back into a downward dog, and then find some movement here. You can bend and straighten both knees, or you can pedal the legs. Bend one knee, press the opposite heel towards the mat, switch it up side to side, pedal it out. And then bend both knees, draw your belly back towards your thighs, bringing yourself into this crouch or a tiger dog posture. And then we'll press into the feet, send the hips up to downward dog, send the right leg up for a three-legged dog. And then bend that right knee, draw it underneath your body, shift yourself forward, core plank, step that right foot through to that right thumb. We'll stay up on the ball of the left foot, bend that back knee, press down into your hands, reach yourself all the way up, arms reach up, and then maybe you straighten that back leg. And then we'll take hands down to the mat, step yourself back into downward dog, and then crouch yourself back into that tiger dog, belly pulls back to the thighs, and then send the left leg up as you bring it up into downward dog, three-legged dog, and then bend that left knee, draw it underneath your body, core plank, shift yourself forward, and step that left foot through to that left thumb. We'll stay up on the ball of the right foot, bend that right knee, press into your feet, peel yourself up, reach arms up, straighten back leg. Hands come down to the mat, step yourself back into downward dog. And then from here, let's walk the hands or the feet up to meet the hands. Bring yourself into a forward fold at the top of your mat, hinging from the hips. not from the low back. Bring your belly to your thighs, let your head go. Hands to the mat or grab a hold of your elbows. Give your hips a little sway and your arms a little sway. Shake, nod your head. Release any tension from your neck. And then bring yourself to center. If you're swaying, take your hands to your hips, press into your feet, lift your heart, and we'll bring it all the way up to stand, and then sweep the arms out and up, palms together, and slide the hands down to your heart. And then again, we'll reach the arms up, and then hinge from the hips. We'll fold it forward into that forward fold, Uttanasana, and then come halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana, press the fingers into your shins or your thighs, send your tail back and the crown of your head forward, and then fold yourself in, and then we'll step the feet back. We'll bring it into a plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists, press down through the hands, lift up through your belly, and then lower your knees down to the mat and lower yourself all the way down to your belly, elbows hug in, and then lift up your heart for a baby cobra. Lower yourself down, tuck your toes, press into your hands and send your hips up and back to downward dog. Bend your knees and crouch yourself down, and then send that right leg up for a three-legged dog. We'll take that right knee underneath the chest and shift yourself forward, core plank. And we'll step the right foot through to the right thumb. This time, drop the left heel to the mat. Press into that back foot. Hug that right hip back and peel yourself up. We'll bring it into a warrior one. Bend that right knee. Rib cage forward. Palms together overhead. Bend the elbows, drop the hands back behind the head. Lift up the elbows, lift up the heart. Press into your feet, hugging through your belly, reach the arms back up. Bring yourself back up to your warrior one. Hands down to the mat. Step yourself back into plank. Lower your knees down to the mat. Lower all the way down to your belly. Hug elbows in. Lift your heart, baby cobra. If you like, you can lift up a little higher, full cobra. And then release yourself down. Tuck your toes, press into your hands and send your hips up and back, downward dog. Crouch yourself down. Let's send that left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that left knee, shift forward, step that left foot through, and then we'll drop the right heel to the mat. Hug that left hip back, reach yourself up. Bend that left knee, reach the arms up. Bring the palms together behind your or above your head, and then bend your elbows and drop the hands back behind the head. Lift up through your heart, and then hug in through the belly. Reach arms back up, hands come down to the mat. Step yourself back into down dog. Let's walk the hands back to meet the feet. Forward fold at the back of your mat. Press into your feet, lift yourself all the way up, palms together overhead. Hands come back to the heart. You can stay at the back of your mat, or you can step to the center of your mat facing the long edge of the mat. Soften your knees, release the arms down, and begin to gently soften the knees. Let the arms swing from side to side. Arms gently tapping the body. You could step the feet a little bit wider than the hips as you do this. Hands could tap the chest, the back, shoulders, the belly. And then let's take our hands, both hands to the left leg, tapping foot, tapping leg. Little body drumming all the way up the leg, and then over to the other foot. Tap the top of the foot, tap the leg, lower leg, upper leg, hands to belly, waking up nerve endings, hands to the back, hands to the front, tapping the chest, tapping the back of the shoulders, tapping the top of your head gently. forehead, temples, cheeks, neck, and then give the hands a little shake. Give yourself a few bounces here. You can lift the heels up off of the mat as you bounce or keep the heels down, jiggling our fascia. And then begin to slow that down. We'll take it into a breath of joy. So we'll keep the knees soft. Feet are about hip width, maybe a little bit wider. Knees are soft. And we'll take this breath, 3 inhalations, or a third of your inhalation, and then we'll exhale. So it'll look like this. Inhale, arms forward. Inhale, arms out to the side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, soften the knees. Fold yourself in. Let the breath out. Inhale, arms forward. Inhale, arms out to the side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release it all down. Arms come down, forward fold. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, let it out. Let's do it a couple more times. Inhale, arms forward. Inhale, arms out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. Bring it up. Let's do it one more time. And then bring yourself all the way up. Palms up together overhead. Hands come back down to heart. Take yourself back to the back of your mat. Arms reach up. Fold yourself in. Halfway up to that Ardha Uttanasana, flat back, and then soften knees. Get hands down to the mat and walk yourself back out into a downward dog. Crouch yourself down, send the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Bend that right knee, bring it underneath your body, shift yourself forward, step a right foot through. We'll drop that left heel to the mat, bring it back up into your warrior 1. Arms reach up, right knee bends. Hands come down to the mat. This time let's step it back into plank. Drop your knees down, lower your belly, lower your torso. Arms hug in, lift your heart up, cobra. Release yourself down, tuck toes, press yourself up, downward dog, and then crouch it down. We'll send left leg up again, 3-legged dog. Bend that knee, shift forward, step that left foot through, drop that right heel to the mat, lift it up, warrior 1. Hands to the mat, step yourself back into plank. Drop the knees down, lower yourself down. Elbows hug in, heart lifts. Cobra, release yourself down. And then press yourself back into child's pose. Knees together or knees wide. And then bring yourself all the way back up to sit on your heels. Let's take palms together at the heart. Come back to our intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with ourselves. Thank you for sharing this short little flow with me today. Hope it helped. Hope it brought you some joy. With love and gratitude, namaste.